Approval of the agenda. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve?
A second.
No, somebody needs to make a motion.
I make the motion.
You can make a motion.
Present.
No. Good motion. All right, Dawn approves the agenda. Anybody seconds it? Okay, thank you. Anybody have presentations and announcements? I have one, but I'll let everyone go first.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Last month when I was here, I brought up about the Grove Youth Authority camp that will do the clean up the creek. So I got some more information and I'm going to pass these out. They're just for you to read. This is a form that has to be filled out. And I talked, they're happy to do it. They have all the equipment.
This is CAL FIRE or the prison?
It's the youth camp.
Okay, so that's CAL FIRE.
Yes. Well, it's CAL FIRE, but it's the youth camp boys that would do it. They have all their equipment and they have the shredder, they have everything. And they were so nice. I talked to 3 different people. They were very nice and happy to do it whenever we had time for them. Just let them know. These are the forms, and this is for you, Steve. This is the people I talked to.
Okay, thank you.
And
I think that I got 2 of them.
it's 200.
He just.
You gave me 2.
Oh, I did. Okay. There's $200 a day, and the EMY, is that a permit? Would that be permit?
Permit.
I forgot to ask them what that meant. It was a price, and I presume that. So,
I've actually done work with these guys before, so I
and
could
then
probably
they
maneuver.
said you'd probably have to get a porta potty.
Yeah, what they like to do sometimes is they don't actually like money. They like in kind, where you buy them a chainsaw or something.
Well, anyway, I thought this was, they said whenever we were ready, they're ready.
Oh,
That's great. So I
you're not out on a fire right now? I would think
well,
that'd be
these are
pretty,
the
but-
boys. Apparently, they don't go out on the fire. These are maybe they're too young. I didn't get into details like that. I thought I'd present this to the committee first because it should be us that decide this together, not just me by myself.
Thank you. Thank you, Sally. That's great.
Thank you. But they said anytime was ready, because she called me back the other day, the technician, what's her name there? You got the,
Sergeant
Yeah.
Salak?
the last one.
Drummond?
No, the next one.
Bellows? Bellows.
Yeah,
Virginia
Bellows.
Bellows, yeah.
She's the technician there for the CAL FIRE, and she's the one that sent me the forms, and then she called or emailed me back, and she says, have you guys done anything yet? We're ready. And I told her that no, that we'd let the committee, decide together, and then the forms have to be filled out. And she was so nice. She said they'd help us with anything we needed as far as answers, forms filled out or whatever. So anyway, I thought they were sure nice. They really were very helpful.
Well, I think this is going to go in parallel to probably a discussion we're going to have about the stream alteration agreement here on the agenda. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind.
About what was that? I didn't quite.
I think we're going to get a report from Janice maybe from what the stream alteration agreement status is. I'm sure we'll have to have one of those in place before we allow
Steam alteration?
stream alteration
Yeah.
agreement, what the last Fish and Game officer told us we needed.
Well, we're not altering anything. We're just cleaning it. So isn't that a different thing? I mean, we're not altering anything. We just want to clean it out before the rain starts. Then if there's anything else to be done, can be done then. But right now, I think our main priority should be clean the creek out.
I think we need a permit to do that.
Well, we would, and I'm sure that's what that is it, Janice?
Well, should I go ahead?
Okay.
I talked to Ian Ralston, and he's actually with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me the information that I needed to apply for the stream bed alteration agreement.
Yeah,
So I have all the information here.
okay.
And-
because I know the boys do Pine Grove.
Mhm.
Except Pine Grove, they don't clean it out and they just pile it in piles, and that's why it all rushes down to us. They don't, see, they won't clean it out. They just shred it, put it in piles, and then we'd have to form some kind of a,
Maybe the city could do that.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive we still need to fill one of those out, even if we're not altering the creek. It might be a lower level of agreement. Okay, any other presentations or announcements? Okay, hearing none. Public comment? Nobody from the public has comments? All right. See, it's going to be a quick meeting. Okay, our regular agenda, we have cleaning of the creek. I'm guessing that's an update of, from Janice. Maybe can you start it off with you already discussed a little bit about the stream alteration agreement?
Right.
Maybe some more details?
As I said, I talked to Ian
Ralston.
Yeah. And he was very nice, and he sent me all the forms that we need to fill out. And you have to get a login information, password, and everything is done online now. So I have the forms here, and as soon as we can get them filled out, and then they were suggesting maybe Lisa would want to tackle that.
Sure.
Lisa, I will be able to offer you some help, but
Okay.
I'm pretty busy and you might find it fun to fill one of those out. So
Sure. If they can read my handwriting, that's the only.
I think it's all on the computer.
It's all on the computer.
Yes.
So I guess kind of some direction is we're going to fill out the stream alteration agreement, work with Ian and try to see how far we can get this year.
Possible. And he said he'd answer any questions that we had or need any help, and I'll give you that information.
And what I can do is follow up with the CAL FIRE guys and see what they're going to need, but I'm almost positive they're going to want one of those in place before they get in there.
Before they get.
And maybe we can find out from Ian how long, because I think if we do go ahead, since there's some type of funds attached to this, you know, $200 an age you mentioned, we probably might have to have a special meeting to be able to approve the.
And someone might want to contact Mule Creek. Remember, they're supposed to do it for free.
Well, maybe Mule Creek can do south
I
and
can't-
CAL FIRE
I
can
can
do
get
north.
a meeting. I can talk to them tomorrow. We need to. Okay.
Talk to Angelo or.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
what was the guy's name that actually is in charge of the look trap? But,
Oh.
Go to him first.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm looking at the calendar and I've lived in Ione long enough that on October 31st, it's going to rain. There's a 95% chance it's going to rain on. So we have less than a month and a half, well, just say a month to, that's going to be hard to get somebody in the creek by then. I'll be surprised if we can get a stream alteration agreement in that amount of time.
So was it Caltrans that did the little bit of work down there by the bridge? Looked great.
Yeah, can I jump back? That should be under presentation and announcements, Chairman Rhodes.
Committee member report.
Oh, yeah, we could put it there. Okay.
Talk about it now so everyone knows.
Well, it's not part of the agenda item. Any other things that you would like to discuss about cleaning of the creek? That's
there
all
was the first meeting we had, somebody was he was in the audience, he come up and talk. Do you remember who he was? He said, because he had said something about he would follow up with the prison. Did he work with the prison? Sometimes when people are talking, I don't have real good hearing, unfortunately, and I miss some things, but that was our very first meeting. He was just sitting over there and he got up and talked. Did you write it down? I didn't write it down on mine, who he was, but he had said something then that I thought he was going to talk to the prison and then get back with us, but he never did come back.
Well, I don't think we've lost that avenue. It sounds like we have Lisa that has a contact at the prison, so she's, let's say by the end of the week, she'll figure something out.
Yep.
I'm just concerned if we want to get in there and have any activity, you know, fishing game is going to be pretty big on no water in the creek when they do it. So once it starts raining, we're pretty much
I
done.
think the whole issue was the COVID thing. So they weren't letting them go anywhere, but
Gotcha.
you know, things are lifting a little bit. So maybe.
We'll get that
that report out.
Yeah.
They will have a work from home day this week, even though I'm slammed. So, but we'll get it. Yeah, we'll get that within the next couple days.
And I'm available enough here, say, in the next 30 days to be able to have a special meeting. If we just want to make this an item of trying to get the stream alteration either approved and or getting CAL FIRE on the hook to get in there.
And there's also a fee when you apply for the stream ed.
It was like $500, I think. wasn't it?
Yes.
498. Used to be 498, I think. Or 656.
But I can get a check on, so that's not an issue.
Do they have to get city council approval to get a permit going? Where do we stand with if CAL FIRE wanted $200 a day?
I'll have to go through the city manager, I'm sure.
Because I did this out at JVID once where I had them for 2 weeks. And it was, I think about like $2,000, $2,500 or something like that. But they brought out probably 15 guys, a truckload,
Yeah.
one of those trucks. And they really got in there and hacked up the creek. But I did have to get a temporary agreement to do what I was doing. Okay, any comments from the public regarding the cleaning of the Sutter Creek agenda item? We're not going to get Larry to speak to. I'll get it out of you sometime. All right, moving on to Sutter Creek levies. Do we have any?
I didn't find anything.
Is that the one by the bridge here? Though, is that the levy you're talking
Yeah,
about?
it's the levee that's basically
By the
behind us all the way
drugstore.
down. Yes, and we're going to have to postpone this one to a future agenda because I don't have anything to report on it either.
I just physically walked down there just to let you know the levee behind the park is failing.
Which side?
Right behind the train, actually. There's a chunk of it fell out.
On the south side?
Yes.
Well, that would be something good to maybe document.
I took pictures of it. Maybe I'll call Army Corps of Engineers and just say, hey.
Would you like to work with me kind of in the next week to figure this one out? Yeah.
It's like a tree fell out and it ripped the whole thing out.
Well, who owns the property?
Did he?
City?
I don't know. Did we ever find that out?
We're still,
Have the maps?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think for that item, Stacy and I could do some research. I just haven't had time since the last meeting to look into it. Moving on to committee member reports. I think we can start with Stacy. I know he has a report regarding Caltrans and the bridge, maybe?
Yeah, so probably about 3 months ago, I had Don write up a letter for me about the paint on the bridge. And everyone's tried to get it repainted and you can't get it done, but I know some sneaky ways. I brought the lead factor and said it was killing the fish and all that kind of stuff. And we actually submitted it, probably 2 weeks ago, week ago. I took some pictures and put it in there. Well, then I did a initial walk down the creek from the dairy hole to the bridge. And when I got to the bridge, I noticed the footing is hanging in there. It's completely blown out the bottom, hanging there. So I called up Caltrans. Caltrans came down. I met with Ricky. And so the same time about that letter made it to this guy named Warren Alford, which is the Public Legislative Affairs of Caltrans. He was reading it. And he said literally 3 hours after that, some engineers came in and said, by the way, the vice mayor of Ione reported the bridge footings are messed up and the levees are washing away. So kind of worked out perfect. So they called me up and they said they don't think any time in history they ever knew of where Caltrans got a complaint and they're going to fix it within a couple weeks. So within the end of the month, they're going to take down the railings off the bridge. I guess they're going to take them to a shop and sandblast them so they don't have to cover the creek up or nothing. And they've already cut all the vegetation around it and they're going to figure out how to, they're going to redo the levees under their part somehow or another. So the levee's completely blown out on the north side.
So I'm curious, are they working with a fishing game to do the
No,
work?
that's what I was going to say. They are exempt from permits. So I'm thinking Mule Creek is too. because they just get in there and do it. Because that day, Ricky actually told me that the head of District 10 told him to get in the creek now and cut down everything and even pull the root balls out. And he asked me how you do that. And I said, I wouldn't pull the root balls out right now because it might, root balls are actually good at a point. But
Till they rot.
yeah, right. So the engineers are figuring out what to do, but I think they cleaned out everything that Caltrans owns under there is all cleaned out now.
Has everyone had a chance with the creek committee to see the picture of what the footing looks like? We should have printed out a picture.
That thing works, doesn't it? How do we make that thing work?
This is like, I think the committee needs to see what's going on with the footing of the bridge
I
because
could
you're
bring it
gonna be
up on my
shocked.
phone and pass it around, but,
You email it to me or something?
yeah, I can do that. Let's see. If I can find the picture and I'll show it to everyone.
So it's on the north, where the drain is.
It's the east side of the bridge.
Basically where that amateur water
Oh,
agency, when that thing failed,
Yeah.
it created an eddy and undermined that whole footing.
Wow.
And that is like that deep.
That's crazy.
This is Mule Creek, Clean Mule Creek.
I don't know.
That big gap
Oh,
under
yeah.
there, the gravel is supposed to be up to here. It's all blown out.
Wow.
You can see the levee all eroded here.
Yes.
Well, maybe when you ask.
I noticed that some of that
Ask
brush
what
had
they
been
do
trimmed off.
Regarding permits.
I'm gonna write that down. I can probably talk to them tomorrow.
You want to, since you're spearheading that, do you want to call Cal Fire too?
Just write everything down.
Well, here's my thing.
I don't want to be going over my pond.
You're talking to them, and I'm talking to these. If you're talking to them both at the same time, you kind of get the same.
Okay, so on CAL FIRE, put down what you want me to ask CAL FIRE.
Okay,
So then I'm gonna,
we'll talk after.
Okay.
We'll get this settled up.
thank you.
Yeah, so they're supposed to be at the end of the month, by the end of the month, start working on it. And they said they're not gonna have to shut down traffic because they're gonna just shut off like
One
one
lane.
side of the walkway and just do it that way. They're not gonna have to touch traffic at all because all the work is on the outside. So, and then we talked about the color of the bridge and we talked about like if we wanted to vote on the color or whatever, and he was worried that it would hold up everything. That people would complain that, oh, Stacy wants a jalapeno green and, someone else wants whatever color. So they're going to pick the most common bridge color that Caltrans carries on the paint crew in this area. But I'm guessing it's the same color. It might be a little more whiter. But I think the guardrails, all the guardrails are all galvanized and they're going to strip them to galvanize and put them back up as galvanized.
Oh, okay.
So, which I think will look good. I like that one.
The chain
The
link.
suicide guard, yeah, I said, I wish we could take him down. He says, I do too, because it looks bad, but we have some ideas. Someone donated a whole bunch of Dave Brubeck signs and laser cut, real expensive things to the city of Ione, and the Rotary has it, and they have nowhere to put these things because the city won't pay for the poles to be put on the streets to hang these nice things. So we're maybe thinking about hanging them on the bridge. So we're going to talk to Caltrans about that to see if we can do that or to make it decorative a little bit, because I think that chain fence looks like crap myself. But
Yeah. I don't know if anyone
put some art on it or something. I don't know.
jumped off. I know someone from the little Mule Creek 5 Mile Drive bridge.
Was that you?
No, I'll tell you. That's a funny story.
Yeah. So that was my news, which was good news because there's been people trying for like 2 and 3 years to get it painted. So I pulled the lead card on them and it seemed to work.
So it looks like what, maybe the next month we'll see some activity or?
They said by the end of this month.
Oh, wow.
So what about temporary? When they take those off?
Oh, I have no idea. I think they just block the whole thing off. Like you can't walk on it.
Oh, okay.
They'll shut down like, let's say the north side
Yeah.
and do it. Then
They'll walk
south side,
okay.
whatever.
That makes sense since we got that other little.
So we should see that thing maybe done by the end of October?
Well, they got to do it before there's water.
Yeah.
So that's the whole idea of the rush because they can't fix the foundation.
They,
The foundation is what they're really scared about.
So would that be a whole new bridge? Like, because we were talking about Sutter Creek. Have you seen Sutter Creek? That's so nice.
Yeah, that was like a $24 million bridge or something too. And that's Sutter Creek's. We don't own our bridge, that's Caltrans. Sutter Creek owns their own bridge.
Oh, really?
yeah, we have a state highway.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I
let's see
got.
what we can do to get those Dave Brubeck deals
Yeah.
put up.
Lori Lord said she would talk to Andrea. Andrea Bonham, I guess, has all of them. So we'll see if we can make it look a little nicer.
Any other comments from the committee members? Any other reports? I have one future agenda item. I got some sad news, and I'm not sure if you saw the email circulated, but Mr. Bridges resigned. And I'm not sure what you guys feel, but maybe I know he was only with us for a meeting, but maybe a get well card or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'll get a card and then have everyone.
Maybe if you could leave the card down here, we come in on our own time with Janice and sign it so we can get it out quicker.
And then when me and Steve were talking about the replacement form, I thought when we started this thing, the question was asked when our time was up or someone resigned or quit or whatever, what we did. And I believe it was the committee got to choose who you wanted. I think that's correct.
Well, I remember bringing up the question because I brought up the question to ask what the term limits were for each person.
Right.
And there was three members that had 2 years and 2 members that had 1 year. And then the comment was made that when their 1 years were up, we were a self-functioning committee, and we actually went out and did the effort to get another committee member. Is that right?
That's what I remember.
Well, with that being said, I hate to throw this in your lap, Janice, but we kind of need some direction on what we, like, if it's our responsibility, we need to agendize it for the next meeting. And what I would like to do as chairman is look at the other applicants.
Yeah, 3 other ones that applied.
I'd like to see all 3 of them. And, maybe appoint a subcommittee with our committee to interview these people, the additional 3 applicants, and see where we go from there.
I'll talk to the mayor because actually the ordinance says the mayor appoints
Mm-hmm.
committee members and commission members. But last time there was a panel that interviewed, wasn't it John, the city manager and the mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess this brings back my question again, is when somebody's 1-year term is up, whoever is standing mayor at the time appoints the new committee member?
Usually in the past, if there's we have planning commissioners that are there for 4 years and park and rec for 2 years. And usually what happens when their term's up, I'll send them an email and ask them if they want to be reappointed
Mhm.
for another 2 years. And most of them do want to, re-up, but if somebody at that time resigns, then we go through the advertising process.
Well, I'd just like to know that this is so new and fresh. We're only 2 months old or 3 months old, and we have 3 applicants.
This is a little different situation
Yeah.
since we did have, 8 applicants and we only picked 5. We don't want to go out and re-advertise.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to the mayor about,
Unless those 3 applicants aren't qualified for some reason that the mayor deemed.
they were all qualified.
There was a lot of people friends of mine that live, we had, the message was in in our sewer bill. But a lot of them, Jay just told those things out and nobody knew. I wish I'd have known about that. I'd applied, but I said, well, you got to look at everything in your envelope.
Well, I don't know if it's completely up to the mayor. I would like maybe to have at least 2 of the committee members now that kind of know the feel of the committee to be part of the selection process. So,
And we'll see what she says.
so is there, I guess going forward, we'll probably assume that Mr. Bridges won't be with us at the next meeting. So we'll just run 4 for a while. So that means that 3 of us have to show up at every meeting. 1 of us doesn't, or 2 of us don't. If 2 of us catch
Would there
COVID,
be a
we're
chance that
done.
we could have a meeting, like say, until we decide what to do about the cleaning the creek? If you wait a month, then we're in the middle of October. We still haven't gotten anything done. Maybe have a meeting in 2 weeks or something. or have us, it maybe bring up us, if you find out anything, because you're going to check into it. And then have a special meeting, because if you wait a month, and then you're going to get into maybe some rain.
You might have missed it. I did mention that we should have a special meeting after we get a little bit
Yes,
of
okay,
direction on what CAL FIRE and the prison were able to offer and the stream alteration agreement. So I'm thinking maybe 2 weeks.
yeah, sounds good.
So with that being said, 2 weeks from now, it's basically maybe the week of the 28th, we'll try to circle back and have a special meeting. When's our next, well, we don't have regular meetings until the
Be the second.
city council reappoints our committee dates, right?
Right. We are working on that ordinance. It'll be up at the next council meeting, next regular council meeting, to change the time of the meeting. Was there any interest in changing the day? of the
I
meeting?
was fine with Thursdays.
Second Thursdays?
Yeah, this next month, it would be the
Oh.
8th. Our second Thursday would be the 8th.
So when's the next city council meeting?
It's supposed to be tomorrow, but they moved it, canceled it.
Yeah.
So it's,
The next regular meeting will be October 6th.
okay.
You can just keep calling special meeting.
So they should, is that the one they canceled? Is the 6th?
No,
Oh,
15th.
okay, sorry. So if they have a special meeting on the 6th, and
Well, that would be
We'll
our
move-
regular meeting.
we'll move forward if there is, you guys adopt it at the city council, I'm talking to you, Stacy, then we'll just schedule it for a regular meeting on the 8th for 6 PM.
Yes, or we can have a special meeting on Monday, the 28th.
Well, I'm thinking we're gonna have to have a special meeting if we want to get ahead of the rain with the, yeah, or the end of next week. You know, 2 weeks is gonna come by quick.
I think everyone's on the same page. If she makes a phone call, Mule Creek says I can jump in there next week.
Yeah.
Let them do it. You know, maybe call everyone and let them know, but we don't need to have a meeting about it. Just, yeah.
Yeah, if you could send us out an email kind of with what,
I'll let Janice know and then we can send it.
Send you all this information that I got electronically in this thing. We'll work together.
so I'll put it on my things to do is just kind of follow up with Janice and Lisa through email and see if you need help from me or, you know, keep the ball rolling. Hopefully we can get them in there in October,
I think
because on Halloween, it's going to be raining.
I'm thinking when Caltrans is working on the bridge, it's kind of a free for all.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be tearing up the correct area. So
Yeah.
Make it a big party.
Remember our first meeting, how we said we want to get this thing going and fast track it? We are.
Okay, any other future items? I don't think we should kind of blur with what our objective is right now. Let's focus on the creek. We'll follow up maybe with the levees. Stacy and I will do a little more research on that. But I don't think that's a thing that we have to figure out just to clean the creek. Okay. Anything else, guys? I'm adjourned at 7:30 or 6:30.
I second that.
My goodness.